this is one of those items that back in the day would absolutely be, given out to games that I was a part of, because this is like just so, inherently evil in its design. I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Dave.
Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
All right, so today we're doing another top 10 homebrew D&D Beyond list. We're looking at magic items, specifically rings. If you're not familiar with the format of these videos, what we do is we go through the top 10 most popular magic items in the homebrew section for D&D Beyond. In this case, we're going to be looking at rings specifically. Then myself and Ted will pick an item that speaks to us, and we will read off what it is, what it does, and then we'll discuss them afterwards. So, first off, we have our list of the top 10, and the way we determine what the top 10 is, we are calling these the most popular items because they are the most viewed items. We figure these have garnered the most interest.
Which means that they've got the more catchier names. So if you're looking to, put your own items into D&D Beyond, make sure that name is catchy and snappy so that more people get the chance to say it.
So starts off with Band of the Dryad, Abandon Ring of the Nine Hells, Ring of Lightning Strikes, Ring of Shared Suffering, Ring of Grammarian, Ring of Cryptical Hits. That one's a bit of a tongue twister for me, but so are normal words, so it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Ring of the Eladrin Lord, Ring of the Goat, Absolutely Not Cursed Ring of Luck, and Ring of Truths.
All right, so there were a number of things in there that, were quite comical. The cryptical hits, I definitely thought that one was amusing, but it took some work to try and figure out which one I was gonna talk about.
And the Absolutely Not Cursed Ring for sure as well. Now, if you're familiar with this series, over on the website, there's another series that kind of parallels it, and that is the Factor of 3 series, where Nerderdog goes and does basically what we're doing here, except for he does it by a factor of 3, and there's a quick write-up, a small write-up about each of the items over there. We'll put a link to the article down in the description below. Also, one of these cards up here. Now, it's only fair that we let you guys know that this is a sponsored video by D&D Beyond. You should power up your games with D&D Beyond. You can go over and look at all the items. We're gonna have links down in the description below. I believe all you need is a free account to go explore the homebrew section.
All right, so my item, I chose not the Ring of Cryptical Hits, but the Absolutely Not Cursed Ring of Luck. And this is by Agitron, so you can definitely go check that out. While attuned and wearing this ring, you gain the advantage on one ability check of your choice. The ring can't be used this way again until the next dawn. So, once a day, get advantage on something. Pretty basic, but there's a curse. Once attuned to this ring, the character is cursed. The cursed individual can under no circumstances believe the ring is cursed. All attempts at convincing them otherwise automatically fail despite any normal reaction to any information. Any individual that travels with a cursed individual for longer than 2 hours comes to the understanding that the ring is cursed. Any attempts to discern the ring's curse while it is not attuned to fails, and any attempt to figure out the ring's curse afterwards come out as inconclusive. Additionally, after you use the stone's magic, your next ability check is made with disadvantage. The attuned individual does not take note of the disadvantaged state. So, literally, you get advantage on one thing, but the next thing you attempt to do happens with disadvantage. It completely counterbalances itself, and you have no ability to absolutely ascertain that you're cursed. So you wouldn't even allow anyone to attempt to remove the curse because you won't believe it. So this is one of those items that back in the day would absolutely be, given out to games that I was a part of, because this is like just so, inherently evil in its design that the player who did it, was like, oh yeah, this is a good stuff. So fun item. Not certain I would use it these days, but the old player, the second edition style game, yeah, this would be a great thing.
I do like items that have drawbacks to them that you're kind of like making the trade-off. So how would you handle if another player is like, well, I'm just going to cast Remove Curse on them?
Well, if they don't know that, they're casting Remove Curse on you, then so be it. And then you'd be like, okay, it would break the attunement. But the player, like, unless you then, like, had a contest to remove the ring, like, they would be just like, oh, I'll just reattune to it, like, because it's still good to them. Like, dude, why would you break my attunement?
Would you allow them a saving throw to resist the Remove Curse? Even though I'm pretty sure that spell doesn't.
I don't think there's a saving throw. I think I would allow the role playing to stand. Now I would modify this ring because like it's because it's something that there's an offset. There's no overall advantage. It's a great role playing thing. So I would want to try and tweak it to some degree that maybe there is some stationary thing. That's there, but I'd really have to like sit and think with it for a while because as it is you're trading one good for one bad. That's not good enough for an attunement slot.
That's true, but when you say, I mean, it is cursed too, right? Part of the curse is it's sucking up an attunement slot.
Yeah.
But when you say, you want another effect going on, do you mean a good effect or a bad?
A good effect. Like I'm okay, like. With it being cursed and it offers disadvantage on the next thing. But, like, trading an advantage for a disadvantage, like, that is an even keel. And it requires your attunement slot because that's how, it has to, like, sink the curse in. So, yeah. I don't know. I like it, but I'd want to...
It's got me thinking, like, I like the idea, but instead of it being just the next thing, I kind of want to do something like when you roll a D20... If it's even, you roll with disadvantage or advantage, pick one. And if it's odd, you do the other. And here's the thing, right? If you roll a 1, then you're going to have to reroll. But if you roll a 20, you're going to have to reroll. So if you go even, you have to then, it becomes a disadvantage. So if you happen to crit something, now roll again to see if it actually was.
Yeah.
Or if you succeeded at all.
That's... That is that's a nice little flux situation. So I think I might play around with this and see what I might be able to do to have a little bit of fun with it.
Well, I went with the Ring of the Grammarian, and also because I am terrible at speaking in English, so I thought this was funny. This is by Denver's Fart Museum. So if you're ever in Denver, there's a museum you might want to not check out.
Dude, harsh.
Well, it is the Fart Museum after all.
Sure. Well, I mean, you got kids. Farts are funny.
Yeah, well, they are. So this one does not seem to require attunement, and the wearer of the ring once a day alters one letter of a spell's title to art of the spell in a different effect. Example: cause fear becomes cause bear. The effect of this altered spell is determined by the DM, but the caster's intentions take into account. So, like, I think that's funny because, like, cause fear is a cone spell that you cast. So, is it that you just turn everyone into bears in it, or do you summon bears instead? They failed their saving throw versus the fear effect, but instead of being afraid, an angry bear appears in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's cause bear, so like that definitely becomes amusing, and I imagine that ring would be quite the headache for the DM and quite the conundrum of the player of like, all right, how can I get the most out of my spells?
I'm not going to cast wish. I'm going to cast fish.
Yeah, I think that one is a less powerful spell.
Instead of cure wounds, you got cause wounds. I think that there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, I would literally sit there with a spell, the entire spell list that I have access to, and just be like, okay, what can I modify here and see what happens. It could be, quite an amusing thing, and I'd love to, know what people would make and change for that particular type of ring.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you have to go through and really look at it. I mean, I didn't give it a lot of thought, but like just the example alone, I thought was pretty funny.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's tons of things like that you can come up with. you know, and it's really just going to be limited to the player's imagination, by the player's imagination, but also, you know, because it's up to the DM, right? There's only so much damage. They can only do as much harm as the DM to the game as the DM allows them to do.
Absolutely, yeah, and that kind of thing, I like the ingenuity. I like, you know, the aspect of, well, how can we, you know, mangle and twist, and then see what the DM says is acceptable, and you know, with a creative player and a very willing DM, you can have some great stories with something like that.
I just figure it would be ridiculous, and that's what I like. Let us know down below in the comments. Have you made any magic items? Did you put them over on D&D Beyond? What do you think of these rings? Do you have a favorite? Let us know in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to attune to that notification bell.
Quick reminder, we drop new videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so come on back. But you can't wait till then. No worries, we've got you covered. You can check out the last top 10 list we did. There's a card up here, and that's for magic items from the homebrew list for rods.
So until next time, stay nerdy.